Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Positivity. I am your host, Zykia McCoy. Here at Cooking with Positivity, we like to focus on positivity leading to success, whether that be in your business, in your love life, and your everyday decision making. Happy Monday and happy June, and welcome to Men's Month / Father's Month here at Cooking with Positivity. Throughout this month, we will be highlighting fathers, father figures, male leaders, entrepreneurs, inventors, creators, and community builders who have left an impact not only on their families, but on the generations that followed. Because when we talk about fatherhood, we're not just talking about biology. We're talking about guidance. We're talking about responsibility. We're talking about leadership. And we're talking about legacy. And also, in that same vein, we're discussing being a man in this world. It is Monday, and I told you guys on Friday, we will be diving in a little deeper on the mental health sabbatical that we took here at Cooking with Positivity. So before we go into today's episode, I wanted to take a quick moment to check in with the family, because I'm quite sure many of you noticed that during the month of May, I wasn't posting. I wasn't being as consistent as I normally am. Wasn't showing up online the same way. I wasn't recording as much. I wasn't engaging as much. And honestly, I needed that. May brought a lot of emotions, and it took a lot out of me emotionally. There were family concerns. There were moments where I needed to prioritize being a mother. There were moments where I needed to prioritize being a daughter. And there were moments where I simply needed to prioritize my mental health. If you have been rocking with Cooking with Positivity for a long time, you know I survive depression and anxiety every day. And normally I am just, push through kind of person. But I realized that was doing a lot of damage to my mental health. And I wasn't the only one. Many of you know, our co-host and Lisa Deshawn. I said our co-host and Lisa Deshawn. Our co-host and family member, Lisa Deshawn, she has also been, taking some time to focus on herself and her family and her mental wellness. And sometimes life requires us to pause, regroup, and give ourselves the same grace we so freely give others. And we're both taking the time that we need so we can return stronger, healthier, and ready to continue building everything we've started here with the CWP family. Sometimes positivity looks like pushing through, like I said earlier. But sometimes positivity looks like recognizing when you need a rest. And I'm still, going through it, fighting my way back. So if you've ever needed a moment to reset, recharge, or simply just breathe, I hope you give yourself the permission to do so, because a lot of the times we prioritize so many other things before ourselves, ahead of ourselves. We don't even put ourselves on the list. And it's important that you prioritize yourself, because taking care of yourself isn't quitting, it's preparation for what's next. And in the same vein, Mental Health Month, it's Men's Mental Health Month. So men, make sure you are constantly working on your mental health. And also, speaking of being back, today is also a very important day. The Favorite Chef competition has officially kicked off today. And if you supported me, if you supported Cooking with Positivity, you've been a part of this community, you've been a part of my support system socially, social media, you've been following ZRZ Catering, you've been following the game nights, interviews, any of my books, anything like that, you are a CWP family member by listening, and you've been here watching and being a part of everything we build over the years. I would truly appreciate your support. Voting begins today, and voting happens daily. I'm going to need y'all votes every day, because this opportunity represents more than just me. It represents my daughters. It represents the community. It represents every person who has supported Cooking with Positivity from day one. So throughout the month, I will be reminding you / harassing everyone to cast their vote every day. And I want to thank you in advance for the support and for all the votes. You can find the voting link on all social media platforms and within this episode description. So make sure you click. Voting is free. Now, if you want to put some extra on it, greatly appreciate it as well. Last year, we made it to the 2 finalists. This year, we're making it to be the only finalist. And this will expand not only my life, my world, but Cooking with Positivity as a whole. And of course, you know, everyone who votes is entered into our CWP Fun Free Friday Positive Raffle, where you can win prizes from my business, Lisa Deshawn's business, as well as some of our sponsors and merch. It's going to be a whole time, so make sure you are voting every day. Remember, I will remind you, okay? It's going to feel like harassment at some point. I appreciate you still supporting either way. Now, today's theme is fathers who build legacy. When people hear the word legacy, they immediately think about money or property, assets, but legacy is so much bigger than that. Legacy is knowledge. Legacy is value, discipline. It's traditions, it's lessons. Legacy is the impact that continues long after you're gone. A father can leave a house, but he can also leave work ethic. He can leave savings, but he can also leave wisdom. He can leave land, but he can also leave confidence. The greatest inheritance isn't always financial. Sometimes it's the mindset that allows your future generations to create opportunities for themselves. And as you guys know, my father passed when I was 15. So the month of June is normally difficult for me when we're talking fathers. we're going to get into it all month long. But when we talk legacy, there are certain people who lives remind us that wealth isn't simply about what you earn. It's about what you build, what you preserve, what you leave available for the next generation. And that brings us into our From Soil to Strength. Our figure feature is Robert Church Sr. Now, Robert Reed Church Sr. was one of the first black millionaires in the American South. I'm going to say that again, okay? Robert Reed Church Sr. was one of the first black millionaires in the American South. After surviving racial violence and economic obstacles, excuse me, my tongue does not want to work today. I can't talk today. Isn't that ironic? Okay, after surviving racial violence and economic obstacles during Reconstruction, he built wealth through real estate, business ownership, and strategic investments in Memphis, Tennessee. But what makes his story important isn't simply that he became wealthy. It was he did with his wealth. He invested in black communities. He supported education. He created opportunities. He helped establish spaces where black families could gather, grow, and thrive. His success wasn't just personal. It became communal. That's legacy. The lesson that we get from Robert Reed Church Sr. is that true leadership isn't measured by how much you accumulate. It's measured by what continues to grow because of your efforts. His life reminds us that wealth isn't just about money. It's about access. It's about opportunity. It's about creating something that remains valuable long after you're gone. Now, food systems and survivals in economics and in black communities, one thing we've talked about many times here at Cooking with Positivity is how food and economics have always been connected. Just like fathers and community leaders pass down wisdom, families have also passed down food knowledge from generations to generations. Historically, black families often had to maximize every ingredient available, and you guys know we don't waste anything here at Cook On Positivity. We stretch vegetables, we stretch proteins, we stretch meals, because creativity became survival, and that creativity eventually became culture. Many dishes we celebrate today were born from resourcefulness, honestly, and families learn how to feed large households with limited resources while still creating meals filled with flavor, love, and tradition. That's another form of legacy, recipes passed down from one generation to the next. Cooking techniques passed from parent to child. Food knowledge passed through families long before people called it budgeting, meal prepping, or sustainability. Our communities were already practicing it out of necessity. And those lessons continue to feed families today. Now, it is time to affirm who we are here at Cooking with Positivity. And the way we do that is our weekly affirmation. Now, I am building something that matters. My actions today create opportunities for tomorrow. I honor the people who poured into me, and I choose to leave wisdom, kindness, and purpose wherever I go. My legacy begins with how I show up today. I'm going to say it again. I am building something that matters. My actions today create opportunity for tomorrow. I honor the people who poured into me, and I choose to leave wisdom, kindness, and purpose wherever I go. My legacy begins with how I show up today. As we begin Men's Month, I want you to think about the people who helped shape you. The fathers, the grandfathers, the uncles, the mentors, the coaches, the teachers, the men who invest in your growth. What lessons are you carrying because they were here? And what lessons will continue because you were here? I want us to step back into this season after taking the time I needed to regroup. I'm reminded that building a legacy also means taking care of yourself so you can continue showing up for the people who depend on you. And like I said at the top of the episode, June is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So as we spend the month celebrating fathers, leaders, entrepreneurs, creators, and community builders, let's also remember that men deserve support. Men deserve rest. They deserve healing. They deserve spaces where they can be honest about what they're carrying as well. So to every man listening, I encourage you to prioritize your mental health. Check in with yourself, with your friends, with your family. Seek support when you need it, because I know the male ego, it will stop you from actually saying, hey, I need support, I need help, I need to be giving grace today. And make sure you give yourself grace, because strength isn't pretending everything is okay. Strength is recognizing when you need help and taking the steps towards wellness. Remember, legacy is not what you leave behind. It is what continues because you were here. And again, I want to remind you to vote for me every day in the Favorite Chef competition. And make sure you send in those voice notes if you have wisdom from your dad or from a father figure in your life. If you have a message for a man or the men in your life to prioritize their mental health, whatever, we want to hear from you. So make sure you drop in those voice notes. Make sure you sending us those voice messages. And make sure you guys show up this month. Last month was Mother's Month, and some of you guys showed up, but a lot of you didn't. So let's step it up for the guys this month. And until Tuesday, hope everybody has a great and positive rest of their day and a great and positive rest of your week.